Hey, Greek Freak Trainer here. I'm reviewing ranking the best and worst fitness YouTubers, part 2. Let's go!
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
The last time I ranked fitness YouTubers, the comments went absolutely nuclear. Some of you agreed, some of you were pissed, and a lot of you said, do a part 2. So that's exactly what we're doing today. This isn't about who's popular, it's not about subscriber count, and it's definitely not about who's the biggest or most shredded. This is about who actually provides value, who's honest, and who's helping natural lifters versus who's confusing or deceiving them. Same tier system, same rules, no feelings spared.
I'm gay.
Why are you gay? We finally have an answer.
Before we start, here's how this works. This is my opinion based on training philosophy, honesty, long-term thinking, real-world results. And just a quick reminder on how the tier system works. G tier is GOAT level, either incredibly useful, incredibly entertaining, or both. A tier, very solid, strong content, consistent value. B tier, good but not elite. Some strengths, some limitations. C tier, meh, hit or miss. Some value, lots of noise. D tier, mostly useless or harmful, bad influence. And P tier is pencil neck shittery, over intellectualized or disconnected from reality. And again, this isn't about hate. This is about telling it like it is. First up is Bro Science Life. Dom Mazzetti is G tier and it's not even close. This guy is hilarious and he's actually super intelligent, but he disguises himself as a complete meathead idiot Guido. He's basically a full-blown comedian.
Ouch! These rugged iron weights are hurting my frail velvet hand skin. Maybe I should start wearing lifting gloves so I can continue to give my boyfriend smooth hand jobs with my buttery man paws. In that case,
That's nuts.
lifting gloves are for you.
His channel is pure satire, but if you actually listen to the jokes, he's roasting the entire fitness industry. The egos, the fake natties, the supplement scams, the influencer bullshit. Is it educational? Not really. Is it entertaining? Absolutely. And honestly, fitness needs more humor and less shitty PDF training programs.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Fitness needs some more comedy. It's so serious sometimes, it gets pretty boring. Nice to have a guy that's going to put some comedy into us. I definitely support that Dom Mazzetti guy. Good stuff, baby. Let's go!
Next up is Sean Nalawanich. This guy was by far the most requested creator that I accidentally left out from part 1. Sean is G tier because he's accurate, calm, and consistent. He doesn't overcomplicate things. He doesn't scream. He doesn't chase trends. Do I personally train like him? No. Do I care? Also no. He's honest, clear, and doesn't sell false hope. And that alone puts him ahead of 99% of fitness on YouTube.
So I've seen little short clips of Sean. I'm not a big fan of his. He's definitely knowledgeable. He knows what he's talking about. It's just like Tanner was saying, he's not someone that I train like. Anyway, he's probably not on my top list. He's still educational.
Then we got the Trend Twins. These guys are entertainers. That's it. They set terrible examples for young men, normalize steroids and reckless behavior, and hide behind "it's just jokes" when they get called out. No real training philosophy, no discipline, no long-term thinking. Are they funny sometimes? Maybe. I honestly never watched their content, and nobody would know who these guys are if they weren't on a shitload of steroids and didn't have the word trend in their channel name. If you're a natty, you're not going to learn shit from these guys other than what not to do. D tier.
So I personally like the Trend Twin. They're funny as heck. I watch those guys a lot. You know, sometimes you need a little more entertainment. People like entertainment. That's what they watch. That's why they scroll on shorts, scrolling. They get bored. And those guys are pretty funny. They're kind of nutty. I kind of dig them. I'd probably rank them a little higher. I know he's ranking based on education and knowledge and stuff, but they're still funny as heck. I like a little humor, craziness, a little unstable. That kind of stuff draws to me, so I dig that stuff. Trend Twins, you guys are doing all right, man. Good stuff.
Buff dudes. These guys have been around forever, and I respect that. They're consistent, they work hard, they have quality content, and their information is generally solid. But it's very surface level. Nothing groundbreaking, nothing offensive. Just fine. B tier. Ryan Humiston. I used to watch this guy a lot. He works hard on his videos, you can tell. And he's got some good jokes. But his content has slowly turned into a hyper-analysis for clicks. You're not small because of your grip with.
I don't watch buff dudes that much. They have good content. I've seen a little bit of them. If something's not exciting to me, like I got to be drawn to something, a little craziness, a little enthusiasm, a little humor, something that's going to draw me in to make me want to watch it. If it doesn't have that, I'm not really watching a lot of it. Got to be like really engaged. That's why I probably don't watch them, but they are knowledgeable and they know what they're doing. Anyway, that's just my opinion.
Ryan Humiston. I used to watch this guy a lot. He works hard on his videos, you can tell. And he's got some good jokes, but his content has slowly turned into a hyper-analysis for clicks. You're not small because of your grip width on your lat pull-downs, or you're doing your bicep curls at a less optimal angle like he tries to tell you. You're small because you don't train hard and you focus on trivial bullshit that he's pushing. He's big, well, because he's on steroids. But at least he's honest about the gear. But let's not pretend science replaces effort. C tier.
So if you're natty like me, you gotta get in there and you gotta push. Stop playing in the gym. Get in there and push yourself. You gotta get in there and work. Push yourself past the point of failure. Let's go. Let's go.
Peter Attia. I never liked this guy. Every insight he shares is obvious and it's wrapped in a doctor's costume.
Who the heck is this guy?
We all know you don't need to be a doctor to be jacked. Mike Israetel proved that. In every piece of viral content I've seen from this guy, he's always saying something like, lift weights, sleep more, eat more protein, you might live longer. No shit.
I've seen Attia exchange roughly 600 emails in just 3 years. Their messages start more
Lordy!
but it's apparent that they were friends.
And now that he's been exposed for being in the Epstein files and doing a bunch of really shady stuff, he's definitely in the P tier. And I'm pretty sure this dude's career is over. Bradley Martin, big channel, big guy, big podcast. But I don't get much practical value from his content. Is it entertainment? Sure. Training wisdom for natural lifters? Not so much. Just another guy on steroids. If you like him, cool. But if I can't learn anything from someone, I'm not watching them. C tier.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of Bradley Martin stuff. I'm not a huge fan of his. I know he's been around a while and he's done really well now as a podcast. But I'll tell you what, from my fighter background, if that guy smacked me in the face, I'd freaking punch him in the throat. Right freaking there, he wouldn't be breathing. He'd be like, because the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Kick the knees out. Kick the knees out.
Larry Wheels. Larry is insanely strong, period. He's also been on gear forever, which matters. And for sure, he's got elite genetics. But he actually pushes his limits. He trains brutally hard. At least he used to. Another thing I like about Larry is that he doesn't fake like he's an expert. I respect that and his effort. B tier.
I love Larry Wheels. That guy is a beast. Regardless of him, if he's ever done gear, I don't really give a crap if he has or not. The guy is freaking a beast. He pushes hard as heck. I like that. You got to push yourself. You got to push yourself in the gym. He's even on the gear and he still pushes himself. But the thing about Larry that I like also is he's a really good arm wrestler. I don't know if you'll ever seen him arm wrestle. He's arm wrestled some top guys and he's beating them. So he's a super stud. He's just got natural strength. Arm wrestling is a different kind of strength and he's got it. So that guy is a beast. That guy ranked top for me, like way to the top of all these fitness YouTubers. Larry Wheels, man, you the man, boy. Let's go. You the man.
Kali Muscle. Terrible example. Health disasters, steroid abuse, zero accountability. He's like in and out of the hospital. He's had heart problems. I do not respect that guy. D tier. Joey Swole. The gym police content. He's juiced. He's got numerous health issues. He's been in and out of the hospital a lot recently because of heart issues. That's what happens when you abuse steroids for years. I also hate all the moral grandstanding. D tier.
Now, Joey Swole, he used to do some good content. I like the one he did that time. You know how the chicks in the gym, sometimes they get mad at the guys looking at them if they're working out or they got in their film space, and he kind of did some good satire stuff about that, and it was hilarious. I don't know if y'all put up some of his old videos, but it was really entertaining. I dig that stuff. The thing he did about the Hulk Hogan thing, where he said something about him and then people started dogging him, and then he went back on his word. He didn't like him, but he originally liked him. You can't go back on your word, man. Once you say something, you got to stick with it. So that was the only thing that kind of he lost his luster on that with the Hulk Hogan incident. But other than that, his earlier content was super funny and hilarious. You just can't go back, dude. You got to stick to your guns. You got to stick to the gun.
Evan Centopani. I've been watching Evan for over a decade. Now, is he on steroids? Absolutely. But he's literally an Olympia bodybuilder. He has to be. But what I love about Evan is that he's one of the most likable, grounded, and useful bodybuilding creators ever. His nutrition content is pure gold, and he's also a super nice guy. Seriously, you need to watch his nutrition shit. It is the best. He also doesn't have an ego, and he doesn't spit any bullshit. G tier.
Yeah, I agree with Tanner 100% on that. His nutrition stuff is awesome, so definitely check that out.
Stan Efferding, another one of my goats. If you've never watched his Rhino rants, you're missing out. Stan is one of the smartest, nicest, and most articulate people in the fitness industry. I've had the pleasure of meeting him too, and he was so gracious with his time, and this was when I was a much smaller creator, and he went out of his way to hang out and spend time with me. He was also incredibly nice to my wife, who was filming the video, and went out of his way to speak to her when he didn't even have to. I'll never forget that. He's just a real, genuine man. He will also get you real-world results.
Dang.
No algorithm chasing, no fake complexity. He doesn't even post
That
on
dude
YouTube
is
anymore
strong.
without a shame. But the reason is because he's basically said everything there is to say.
Strength is never a weakness. Weakness is never a strength. When you begin focusing on strength, you have to train hard enough to take your body somewhere it's never been before. The stimulus has to be sufficient to trigger a response, and it has to be progressive over time.
Stan is G tier all day.
Dan is absolutely correct. You got to keep creating that stimulus to get those gains, especially if you're natural. I have a lot of routines that are done by percentages, and the reason why they work, not just in strength, but in muscle gain, lean muscle mass, is that you're constantly creating a stimulus because you're using percentages, and percentages keep going up. Even if your reps go down, the percentages keep going up, and guess what? You keep getting more muscle because you're changing the resistance. You're going up and changing that resistance. And even on the assisting muscles, you're constantly going up on those weights. Once you achieve 10 for all 4 sets, you move up again. So then there's another stimulus. But again, once the weight keeps getting heavier on the original lifts of whatever you're trying to increase the max for, all the 4 to 8 repetitions are getting brutally hard. It's not easy to move up on the assisting muscles, but that's the secret to get massive gains. Got to create those stimulus to get the muscle, baby. You got to grow. You got to get that muscle.
Milo Wolf. Skinny, over-intellectualized, and zero presence. I will straight up tell you that I do not like any creators who hide behind the guise of science to try to give themselves credibility. It's fucking bullshit. I'm also pretty sure that Mr. Mike, not Dr. Mike, funded this guy's PhD. So when Mike got exposed, of course Milo tried to defend him with a bullshit video that he soon deleted. I know Solomon Nelson also just called him out, which I think is great. The dude is skinny, he doesn't train hard, and isn't even respectably jacked. Another guy who relies on science and fake credentials to fool his audience. P tier.
Milo, this is what I have to say about Milo. Exactly. Next.
Bioneer. I don't hate the guy, I just don't know the guy. And to be fair, I've never really watched his content, so this ranking isn't really fair. He was just another guy that people mentioned in the comments from my first YouTube video. When I clicked on a couple of his videos, I just didn't see anything special. He seems like a calisthenics guy, but his physique was nothing special in my opinion. I like Daniel from Fitness FAQs way more. C tier. Peter Kacharian. This guy is legit. I really like Peter. We follow each other on Instagram, and I've been watching his content on YouTube for years. This dude does old school bodybuilding right. Progression, basics, no nonsense. If I hired a bodybuilding coach, it'd be him without question. G tier. Eugene Teo. Just gimmicky, weird, overcomplicated. He's also kind of feminine.
Be able to have control over all these different ranges of motions. Okay, looks, yeah, baby.
He likes playing around with wiffle ball bats and does goofy shit with kettlebells. I also find it very odd he looks like shit now compared to when he was bodybuilding with a very strange haircut. Literally, I've never seen any content from him that I liked or derived value from. D tier. Alex Leonidas.
I agree with
Super
that.
strong upper body, solid philosophy. I respect his approach. I wish he did more heavy squats and deadlifts, but that's just my own training bias. I think he also pushes a vegan diet, which I seriously question. But nonetheless, his training content is solid, so I'm not going to hold that against him. He's also been putting out content on YouTube for years, so I respect his grind because being a YouTube content creator is not easy. A tier.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a big fan of the vegan diet. Definitely animal protein sources is the number one for the body. Animal proteins are complete proteins. They contain all 9 amino acids. Vegan sources do not contain all of the amino acids. Plant proteins are incomplete. They lack 1 or more of the amino acids. Real animal protein sources have a higher biological value. This measures how efficiently the body utilizes the protein. The animal proteins can lead to more muscle repair and growth. Also, the main factor that I like about animal source proteins is the nitrogen. Nitrogen is key. The reason being that proteins are made up of amino acids that contain nitrogen. Increased nitrogen retention is crucial for muscle growth, as it indicates a positive nitrogen balance, where the body is consuming more nitrogen than it is excreting. Animal proteins contribute to a higher nitrogen balance. This supports muscle hypertrophy more effectively than some plant-based proteins. Also, the animal proteins are more nutrient dense. They provide more essential vitamins and minerals like vitamin B12, zinc, omega-3s, fatty acids, which are more readily absorbed from animal sources than plant sources. Gotta grind!
Alan Thrall. I haven't watched a lot of his stuff, but I do know he preaches the basics, he trains hard, he was super strong. I think he's chilled out a lot on the heavy lifting and he does more cardio now, which I'm not sure why. But he's got a big channel, and most of the content I've seen from him is legit. A tier. Joe Delaney. Good messaging, solid content. He doesn't put out a lot of videos anymore, unfortunately. But when he does, I do tend to agree with them. He's another guy that doesn't really overpromise anything. I just know that I have seen a lot of his YouTube ads pushing the Hume body scale. So that was kind of annoying because you know that was for sure just a money grab. No one actually needs that scale. B tier. Now, I do have a couple honorable mentions. One would be Jeffrey Verity Schofield. He's very analytical, thoughtful. You can
Look
tell
at
he's
those
an
arms!
intelligent guy. He's got big arms, but I've never really seen him do any kind of heavy squats or deadlifts. He's just not in my lane. Another guy that was interesting was Basement Bodybuilding. I respect his grind. I think he's natty, and he just makes content in his basement about like training hard. So that's pretty cool. Now, if I had to choose my goat of goats, it would be Evan Centopani and Stan Efforty because I'm not just choosing one. I simply can't. And for my pencil necks of all pencil necks, this was an easy one. It would have been Milo Wolf, but once we found out that Peter Attia was in the Epstein files, that is P tier for sure. He makes Milo Wolf look like a saint. And I'm just not going to go down that lane because it's just probably not appropriate for YouTube. Now remember, this video isn't about hate. It's about honesty. And this is what I love about YouTube. I get to create what I want and you get to watch what you want. These are my opinions. You are allowed to disagree, but I'm allowed to say them. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you hate it, leave a comment. And if you think I missed out on someone, make sure you let me know. That's YouTube, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
That was a killer video. Really, guys, it really comes down to you and what you like. I'm a person where I kind of watch everything. I already know a crap ton about fitness, but because it's all I've ever done for my entire life. I've trained pro athletes most of my entire life. Only had one job training. I started when I was like 15. I illegally trained at 15, made some bank money for clients, probably over 30, 35 years. I'm super old, but I look super young. Can't help it. It's just genetic. And I've been in the fitness industry my entire life, so that kind of helps. Whoever you like that interests you the most, it's good to kind of be versed and watch a little bit of everything because you never know what you're going to learn. You might find something out there that's really cool. You might be intrigued by it. But always do your research, do your due diligence. There's a lot of stuff out there isn't true. So many times I see people see stuff where they ask me a question like, is this true? And I'm like, absolutely not. So don't believe everything you hear or read. You got to do your due diligence, research, and make sure you know if the information is solid or not. Fitness YouTubers, I'm one of them, baby. And again, my advice to you guys is you got to get in there mentally and wake yourself up. Just wake yourself up. Punch yourself in the face and get fired up. If you're not on any freaking illegal drugs, you got to get in there and you got to work. Let's go, baby. Greek Freak. Come on, let's go. GreekFreakTraining.com. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. GreekFreakTraining.com. Let's go.